Hello guys, greetings to everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel, Understanding Mathematics with Pride. Today, we are going to start with topic 1, numbers and numerals. After watching this video, each and every one of you will be able to answer the 3 questions displayed on the board. The first one, what is a number? The second one, what is a numeral? The third one, what is a numeral system? So we note the following. The first hyphen, we're going to write down the question. What is a number? What is a number? We end with a question mark. It's a question. Most often we make use of the word number, whereas only a few people can give the exact definition of a number. So let's write this down. It is something you can think of. It is something you can think of. It is something you can think of. But in reality, you cannot see it on its own. It is something you can think of, but in reality you cannot see it on its own. Let's take for example 5 is a number. 5 is a number. 5 is a number. And cannot be seen on its own. It simply means we can think of the number 5, but we cannot see 5. But if we affiliate the number 5 to real life objects, we can see 5 things. For example, we can see 5 cars, we can see 5 goats, we can see 5 houses, we can see 5 people. But the number 5 on its own cannot be seen. So let's write this down. The number 5 can only be visualized. The number 5 can only be visualized can only be visualized. That means seen when it is affiliated. When it is affiliated to real life objects. To real life objects. To real life objects. Things we can touch, things we can see. To real life objects. For example, I'll state some examples. For example, 5 people. We can see 5 people. 5 people. The next, we can see 5 cars. We can see 5 houses. Those are things we can see in real life. So next, let's write down the best definition for a number. So you take note of the definition we are to write down presently. A number is simply an idea. A number is simply an idea. So I'll use my red pen to underline this definition because it is important. So you take note of it. Next, we move now to the second hyphen. We are going to write down the question, the second question. What is a numeral? What is a numeral? So many years back, people recorded their ages, number of animals, their wealth by placing stones or sticks or cowries at hidden corners of their houses. That's how people recorded the number of things they had before civilization came about, when writing was being invented. So let's write this down. Many years back, people recorded their ages, number of animals, number of animals. Animals were very important back then. Number of animals, animals like cows, goats, horses, camels were very, very valuable. Horses, close the bracket. By placing stones, by placing stones or sticks, by placing stones or sticks, there were special stones and sticks for this purpose. By placing stones or sticks at hidden corners of their houses. That's what they did. For example, I was told by my grandparents that they used Indian bamboos to record the number of animals a person had, to record the age of a person too. So now let's write down some examples on how objects were being used to represent the number of things. Let's write down some examples. For example, I will draw a stone. That object, that's a stone. So one stone, you see, it is just one of it. One. So I'll just say one stone to represent, and use one stone to represent 1 year, or one cow, or one person. Next, I'll draw two stones, which can be used to represent two children, two horses, two people, or 2 years. So when they had two stones by the corner of the house, that two stones can simply mean a certain member of that family is 2 years old, or the father has two cows or two horses. So next, as civilization came about with the invention of writing, people had to leave all those ancient ways of representing numbers. So let's write this down. As civilization developed, As civilization developed, as civilization developed, people learned how to read and write. People learned how to read and write. For example, like in Egypt, when civilization started, with the invention of the Egyptian handwriting, the Egyptians had to develop their own numeral system, which they used in representing numbers. We are going to see that in future, the Egyptian numeral system. So next, let's continue. They started using signs on stones. They started using signs on stones or clear plates, clear or clear plates to represent ideas, to represent ideas or numbers. They started using signs or on stones or clay plates to represent ideas or numbers. You can see with the ancient method of using stones or sticks, you will see that the stones or sticks will just be occupying space for nothing. Whereas with the invention of writing, they could easily note the numbers on clear plates or stones by making signs on them. So let's move now. Let's continue. A mark or a sign, a mark or a sign which represents something, a mark or a sign which represents something is called a, I'll write it down with a red pen, symbol. It's called a symbol. For example, we can make any mark, but when the mark does not represent anything, it is not a symbol. It becomes a symbol when it represents something very important. So I'll write down some examples. For example, I'll write down the following symbols. You can see them. Write down 5 symbols. You must have seen some of them. I will not call their names. I'll just write them down. Are symbols are symbols which can be used are symbols which can be used which can be used to represent numbers. Take for example the last symbol. That's a symbol I invented. I don't know whether the symbol is being used somewhere. I can use that symbol to represent a particular number. But if I don't reveal that number to you, I don't think you'll be able to give me that number. Okay, now let's proceed by writing the exact definition of a numeral. What is a numeral precisely? A numeral is simply a symbol. Numeral is simply a symbol. As we are making use of the word symbol that represents a number. A numeral is simply a symbol that represents a number. This definition is very important. So I will underline this definition using a red pen. Next, I will give some examples, e.g., when you see me making use of the word e.g., it simply stands for example given. Example given, I'll write down the following symbols. I will not call their names. All represent the number 1. All represent the number 1. I know just by writing those symbols, you already have in mind the number 1. So all those symbols can be used in representing the number 1. So we take now the third hyphen. What is a numeral system? It's a question. What is a numeral system? A very important question. Okay, so let's write down the definition. Let's write down some few things on this. It is simply a system of counting. It is simply a system of counting and representation of numbers by a particular group of people by a particular group of people by a particular group of people using specific symbols so the symbols must be known to the group of people. If not, the symbols A will use, B will not recognize them for the numbers they represent. So it must be known to them. So I will simply state an example. For example, the grass-field people of the northwest region of Cameroon, the grass-field people of the northwest region of Cameroon that's my region of origin. I'm from the northwest region of Cameroon. Made use of some special sticks. Made use of some special sticks. Made use of some special sticks. These special sticks were Indian bamboos. That's what they use. Made use of some special sticks. Indian bamboos. I was told back then Indian bamboos were so precious. To represent numbers. Made use of some sticks to represent numbers. So there are many numeral systems in the world. So many. So many. So we are going to focus on the most important numeral systems, which are the Egyptian numeral systems, the Roman numeral system, and the Hindu-Arabic numeral system. Those were the three best numeral systems. So we are going to treat just those three numeral systems. So let's write this down. There are many numeral systems. For example, I'll write them down with a red pen. There are many numeral systems. For example, I'll write them down with a red pen. The Egyptian numerals. When you hear the Egyptian numerals, you think already of Egypt. This is a numeral system that was used by the ancient Egyptians when civilization started in Egypt. So they had to invent a numeral system to represent the number of wealth a particular person has instead of moving along with stones and sticks. It was easy moving with symbols on stones or clay plates. Then we have the Roman numerals. When you hear the Roman numerals, you think of the ancient Romans. They are the ones who invented the Roman numerals. And the Hindu Arabic numerals. When we talk of the Hindu Arabic numerals, we are simply referring to the number system we use in the world of today. It was simply formed by merging the Hindu numeral system and the Arabic numeral system. So these three numeral systems are the most important numeral systems. We are going to treat them in our subsequent lessons. Stay tuned for the next video, which is on the Hindu Arabic numeral system. Thank you for watching.